Over the past 2 decades, Islamic finance has seen significant rapid growth emerging now truly on the global scene from a niche player into something which is recognized by various jurisdictions and governments and large multinational banks. Indeed, Islamic finance is now engaged in by not just Muslim countries, but also by non-Muslim countries and various Western countries, including Britain, which is at the forefront of the development of Islamic finance in the Western world. Nonetheless, with the growth of the industry and all the various superlatives you hear about describing the fantastic growth, nonetheless the industry is facing various challenges, and it's very important for introspection by the practitioners to examine these, to distill these, and then to go forward and address these. One of the core issues within the industry I'd like to explore and mention a few words on is the uptake of Islamic retail products within the European Muslim mindset. Indeed, within the European world, Muslim communities are a minority, and the uptake of the products has been surprisingly low within the retail space. This is a significant contrast to the uptake of Islamic products within the Muslim majority countries. I think we need to reflect upon this and see why is it that fundamentally Islamic finance has not grown as rapidly as it possibly could within the retail segment. Some of the issues I'd like to touch upon with regards to this growth are issues that we need to consider as an industry. First of all is the issue of fundamental confidence and belief and trust within the products. Very often we hear at the Islamic Finance Council and with the work that the IIBI do is that many people say, is Islamic products truly Islamic? What is the difference between an Islamic product and a conventional product? Do we address anything in terms of the moral elements and the social elements within this products, or is it just effectively a structured product where we're looking at the form over the substance? These are significant issues that the industry fundamentally needs to address, and until it does that, the uptake of the products will always be limited. And I think this is reflected if we look at the numbers within the UK. We're talking about out of the population, the Muslim community represents approximately 2.5 to 3%. Now, from that Muslim population, just looking at one of the products, which is a mortgage product, the uptake of that product has been less than 4% of the Muslim community. So that's 4% of 3%. You can do your maths yourself. It's not very much, it's not particularly a commercially viable proposition. So along with the issue of the fundamental confidence and understanding is also the work of awareness and education. There are significant issues when we look from the Muslim mindset within Europe. The Muslim community is very much a cocktail of various economic migrants going through the second or third generation within the UK context. Now, when we are trying to get out there and explain to them Islamic finance, we straight away find that there are issues of terminology. The Muslim community is not just all Arabs or Arab speaking. Indeed, most of them come from the Indo-Pak subcontinent. So when you're out there explaining insurance and takaful, many people don't understand what takaful is or the Arabic terminologies which are used like mudaraba, musharaka, ijara, and so on. Indeed, I often say a Muslim in the UK can't tell the difference between a takaful or a falafel. So terminology, education, awareness is fundamental to the growth of Islamic finance, and the role that IIBI are doing with the lectures and the various other activities is fundamental towards increasing that education and identifying and closing in that awareness gap. Along with this, we need to understand the fundamental behavior of an ethnic minority community. Does the Muslim minority community within the UK follow the mean? Is it relevant for us to take averages and norms and apply that to the Muslim community? Actually, if we look at healthcare, if we look at education, if we look at various other issues, the Muslim community is very much skewed from the mean. So it's important, therefore, when we have a strategy for targeting Islamic financial services to the retail community, that we also bear that in mind as well to create an effective marketing technique. In addition, we have to educate many of the stakeholders. This is not just the retail community, but also the gatekeepers to that. And in this regard, I talk about the imams and the scholars. At the Islamic Finance Council, we've done a lot of work in educating the imams. And the first thing we found what we had to do was, first of all, explain to them what conventional mortgages are. We had to do that as a prefix before you could explain to them what an Islamic mortgage alternative is. We feel that it is absolutely vital for the success of Islamic finance in the UK as a retail proposition that the gatekeepers and key stakeholders are fully aware of the products and are out there and explaining that and work indeed as ambassadors for that. So training the trainers and educating them is a key function. In addition, it must not be underestimated and must also be emphasized with Islamic finance, the abhorrence of riba and of interest, and how in Islam, in Quran, in the Sunnah, and the traditions, authentic traditions, this is no small matter. Indeed, it's of no surprise when you have a community which effectively constitutes economic migrants, that issues of interest and how you make your money, sometimes people can turn a blind eye. It is important for Muslim community to take the moral high ground and to reignite the proud heritage it has in the form of ethical finance, but not just in finance, but in the way, in the adab, in the manners in which it carries out its business. Islamic finance cannot be dislocated or separated from Islamic business behavior, which is about ethical, which is about protecting your customers, which is about honest and just and transparent business behavior, something which the world can turn to and look to and reflect upon, particularly in the times of the current crisis, where there's been a clear, evident dearth of transparency and of honesty within the existing financial institutions, that we see that the importance of reigniting this cannot be underestimated. Finally, it is also important for the Islamic finance industry to realize and truly open its proposition to the broader community. As I mentioned earlier, the Muslim community within Europe, the retail proposition is a very shallow market. It does not have the critical mass that you would have in Muslim majority countries such as Malaysia or Pakistan or the Gulf. So it's important that your proposition and your offering is open to all, to Muslims and to non-Muslims equally, which Islamic finance is, but you have to ensure that your marketing and go-to-market strategy also reflects that. And indeed, in taking off the Islamic terminology and just highlighting the morals in a language that the people can understand, which everyone can understand, will be and can be a key determinant to the success, to the commercial success of Islamic finance.